Good Thursday, it's not Thursday, good Wednesday morning to you, dear friends. My name is Susan Haney, and I'm here this Wednesday morning to talk to you a little bit more about the contemplative prayer practices. We've been doing this for the last, month, maybe a little bit longer than that on Wednesdays. This is specifically for my friends at the First Baptist Church of Gastonia because we are working our ways through some different prayer practices and practicing them in worship. So if you're available and would like to see some of this, come and join us at the First Baptist Church of Gastonia on Sunday mornings at 11, where you can experience some more of this. Today I wanted to talk with you about a method of prayer. It's called centering prayer. This came about from a monastery, I think it's St. Joseph's, that's in Massachusetts. One of the monks there found a book. It's an old book called The Cloud of Unknowing. It is a book that's available on Amazon if you're interested in reading some of that. And The Cloud of Unknowing presented this method of prayer. It really is a way of focusing your mind and building up your ability to contemplate, to be silent in the face of God. Like I said, it started in Massachusetts. The monks began working with it in the late 60s or early 70s. Then there were some lay people who came and wanted the monks to help them learn how to pray, and this is when they began to teach lay people. The monks who started it, Pennington, Keating, forgot the other one, started an organization called Contemplative Outreach. You can look Contemplative Outreach up on your internet browser and probably find out more than you want to know about centering prayer. All right, so centering prayer is a method. It is centered on your intention. And the intention is to be present to God. One of the main advantages to this method of prayer is that it gives us a way of dealing with our thoughts. Because generally speaking, thoughts and the things that run through our minds are what causes us to have trouble in sitting and being silent before God. So this is what they say at Contemplative Outreach is the way to practice centering prayer. They recommend that you sit straight with your feet on the ground. And when I lie back and, recline and prop up my feet, I do find that it's more difficult because my body wants to relax. And although you don't want to be tense, you do want to be relaxed, but you don't want to be so relaxed that you want to go to sleep. Make sense? All right. Then the next thing that you have to do, and sometimes I have found this to be the very hardest thing, that is to select a sacred word or a prayer word or a word of love. I'm going to give you a few because I know that I have spent lots of time saying, well, which one should I use? Which one should I use? Well, why don't you choose to use peace or love or Jesus? Just a suggestion. So you have this word that is in mind, and you sit down in your chair with your feet on the floor, sitting up, kind of like I am right now, and breathe deeply several times to relax yourself and to and declare your intention to be present to God. Maybe you would say something along the lines of, here I am, sufficient, or just call on the name of Jesus. And then your intention is to be present to God, and as thoughts drift through your mind, repeat your sacred word, peace. And offer those thoughts to God. Surrender them to God. And move yourself gently back into an attitude of silence and prayer before God. So the prayer word is your technique for dealing with these thoughts. Or even some distractions that come about because, there are things that happen during the day when you're trying to sit around and do this that distract you. So your sacred word, your word of love, is what you use to bring yourself gently back into focus on God. When I do this, I like to set a timer. Now, the folks at Contemplative Outreach will tell you that you should probably do this for about 20 minutes twice a day. And that is intimidating to me. 20 minutes of silence is huge. And depending on your own personal preferences, I think 5 minutes, 3 minutes is great for getting started. Now, obviously, the more often you do this, the twice a day is a good rule of thumb. And the more often you do this and the longer you participate, the more you exercise your contemplative muscles, and you get to the point where you are able to sit still and focus on God for longer times. Some folks say that this is not a prayer practice for beginners, but I don't think that's right. I think that God calls each one of us in love to be with Him. And when we come to be with God, God will honor our efforts. Try it. Don't try it once or twice and say, this is not for me, because it is something that needs to be done regularly. In fact, a lot of folks say that maintaining a centering prayer practice really needs to be grounded in a group of individuals who practice it together on a regular basis. And in that way, you develop community, which is another important part of living the life with God. Alrighty, so I think that's all I needed to say to you today about centering prayer. I hope that you will at some point try it, look at it, see how it works, and how it works for you. Next week we'll talk some more about prayer practices. I think we're going to look at things that are maybe a little bit more active next week. So have a great week, have a great weekend, and I hope that I will see you here again on next Wednesday, and I do appreciate your time. Have a great day. Goodbye.